Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. For this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet this bikini cover-up bottom. And as you can see here, I'm making it super long. It's about 35 inches long. You can make these in different ways. So this one is one where I made it and I work around it like this. There's also an option that I will also have on my channel where you work on it as a one piece and then you join two pieces together. And this one here doesn't have a slit. The other one I do create a slit for it. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be working on today. So let's go ahead and get our stuff ready and I'll show you what I'm using for this and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay my lovelies, so before we get this project started, I'm going to show you the materials that I'm using for it. So as you can see here, I have this yarn that is left over from another project. Of course, this is not all I'm gonna need. I'm probably gonna need to get another one after I use this leftover for a crochet hook size. I'm gonna be using a 5mm crochet hook. Just so you understand, this is a medium weight number 4 and it's also 100% acrylic, which is why I'm using a 5mm crochet hook as well, which is also H8 US. Okay, and you can use whatever crochet hook size that you feel comfortable with. And then I'm going to need a darning needle to be able to sew, as well as a tape measure. So we're going to do this bikini cover up, which is just the bottom cover up, and it's going to be really long, so I'm going to be making it almost right down to my ankles. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so go ahead and grab your stuff and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with the first part of the bikini skirt or bikini cover up skirt. And we're going to of course start by doing a slip knot to be able to do our foundation chain, so just like that. And then we're going to start by doing a chain of 11. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, now that we have our chain of 11, okay, I don't know what that is. I think it's a fluff from another yarn, or maybe it's just a defect in this yarn, but I don't want to pull it out right now. So that you have your 11 chains like this, we're going to start by doing single crochet stitches in the back of the chain. So we're going to skip this first stitch right here, and in the second one right here, we're going to go in the back of it and do our single crochet stitch. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to move on to the next stitch and we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the back of that stitch as well. And then we're just going to do this all the way to the end of the chain. Okay, so that is the end of my first row here. And by this point, you should have 10 stitches. We did 11 chains. We skipped the first chain to start this row. And so you should have 10 stitches that you're going to be working with in this part of the project, okay? So we're going to start our second row, which is a repeat row, and we're going to do a chain of 1 and turn. And then we're going to do our single crochet stitches in the back of the stitches. Okay, so this is single crochet, back loop, single crochet stitches. And we're just going to do this again all the way to the end. And for the first 9 stitches, you're going through the back loop, and for the final 10th, you go through both loops. And again, this is optional. You could do back loop through all 10 of them, but I prefer to do the last stitch by going through both loops. Okay, so this is again, like I said, you repeat row for this part of the project. So you're going to do this until you have the circumference of your waist. Okay, so what I do is I measure the circumference of my waist, and then I incorporate the stretchiness, so this stretches quite a bit, and that's what's going to be the how long I'm doing this part of the project. I'm going to do 88 rows total. I want it to be a little bit loose because you could always do like a drawstring to tighten it, but it's also important so that if you have wider hips, that the rest of the skirt, the bikini cover up skirt, is going to fit your wide hips. So this is why I'm doing such a long part of this, is so that even though it may not fit really tight on my waist, it's going to fit me properly for the remaining of the body, especially my wide hips. Okay, all right, so this is your repeat row here. So you're going to repeat this again by doing a chain 1 and turning. and this is our third row, and I'm going to repeat what I just did in the second row here, and then I'm going to repeat that all throughout my 88 rows. Okay, so determine how many rows you need to do for yourself by measuring your body or whoever you're making these for. And when you have determined how wide you want it, then you're going to do the number of rows to correspond with that length or that wideness. Okay, so I'm going to do my 88, and when I have that, I'm going to come back to show you guys how to move on to the next part of the project. Okay, so I will see you when you have the number of rows for you. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed doing my 88 rows here. So as you can see, that is pretty much the size for the band of my cover-up bikini skirt. Okay, so now we have this completed, and of course you will have the number of rows that you require for you. We're going to join these two sides like this so we can work in a round way. Okay, so for here I'm just gonna kind of pull this so I don't undo it, and I'm going to bring my darning needle in, and we're going to use the tail that we left a little bit longer from when we started our foundation chain, and I'm going to start to join these two parts together like this. Okay, so I have my yarn here, I have my darning needle. I'm just gonna go into that very first stitch right here, and I'm gonna go and join it with the other side, and I'm gonna pull, and I'm gonna do that one more time in that same spot just to make it a little bit secure there. And then I'm gonna just move on to the next stitch like that and join it there, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the next stitch. Okay, and then move on to the next stitch, and you get the idea here. So we're just joining it this way until we get to the end right here where my left hand is, and then when we have that done, we're gonna move on and do the rest of this project. Okay, so get to the end here and then come back so we can pick up from there. So that's joined here. So this is why I joined it here. This is the tail. I'm just going to leave this tail here for now. We're not going to cut it. It's also going to be a guide of where we know we're getting to the spot where we're supposed to be turning around, because we're going to be working around like this. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and do a row of single crochet. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to establish the stitches to be able to work into later. So we're just going to do a row of half double crochet around this area here. Okay, so we're gonna just do a chain one and turn our work this way, and as you see here, we're just gonna slip stitch to this end to close this gap in like that, and then we're going to do a chain of one, and then we're going to start doing our half double crochet stitches going the other direction this way here towards my left hand. And I'm just going into, as you can see here, there's the area that's the valley and there's the area that protrudes. We just do one in the valley, one in the area that protrudes, just like that. Okay, and like I said, we're going to do this all around until we get back to where we just started here. So go ahead and do your single crochet or half double crochet stitches around until you get back here, and when you get back here, come back and I will start the next row with you, which is going to be the repeat row, and also we're changing the stitch. So come back for sure so you can learn how to, or at least see how I change into the next stitch. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so I have completed the round here of the half double crochet stitches. Okay, and I've come all the way back to where we started this row. So for this portion here, I'm just going to slip stitch right on top of the previous stitch right here, just like that, to join these two sides together like that. Okay, and now we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. We're just going to turn our work because this is how we're going to be working on it. And now that I've done my chain of 3 here, I'm going to skip the stitch right here and the stitch right next to it. After that, I'm going to do another chain 1 to add to make it 4. And then I'm going to do treble crochet, not in this stitch, but in this stitch right here. Okay, so treble crochet, and I'll show you in the next one here. And then you chain 1. And then you again skip this stitch, and in this stitch you do another treble crochet, And to do a treble crochet, you yarn over twice like this until you have 3 loops on the hook, and then you go into your stitch and grab the yarn. You will have 4 loops now. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over again, go through the next 2, yarn over again, go through the final 2. Okay, so this is how we're creating these kind of meshy look to the bikini cover. Again, we chain 1, we skip this stitch, in this stitch we do a treble crochet. Okay, and you're just gonna do this all around until you get back to the spot where we just started off here. Okay, and just another thing too, is to keep you kind of like to keep your work even. If you look carefully, the where we're doing treble crochets is in the valleys, and we're skipping the one that is the stitch that is on top of this protruding area here. Just in case you lose your track, that is one way you can try to get a hold of where you're going into when you're working into your stitches. Okay, so do your treble crochets all around until you come back. Don't forget to skip a stitch between each treble crochet, but also don't forget to do a chain 1 before you start the next treble crochet. Okay, there's a chain 1 between each of these treble crochets. Okay, so again, go ahead and do it all the way until you come back here. So your last treble crochet should be in this area here, and then come back so I can show you how to connect back to this side before we start the next row, which is our repeat row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I have reached the end of this row again here. So as you can see, that's our tail that we had from previously, and this is where we started this row. And of course, again, this is where I just did my last treble crochet. So now we're going to connect it to this side, but first we're going to do our chain 1 just so we can be consistent. And the number 5, remember we did a chain 4 plus 1, so chain 5. That one is going to be the equivalent of the chain 1 that we do between our treble crochets. So we're just going to go right into the stitch right before it and do a slip stitch right on top of that, like that. And this is how your work will look like that there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start our next row. So we're going to do a chain of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go right into the top of this stitch here, and we're going to do our treble crochet. Okay, and we're just going to do that treble crochet right there like that, and then chain 1, and then do another treble crochet. And this time we're just working our treble crochets on top of the treble crochet, the stitch right on top of the previous treble crochet. And of course, we're continuing to do our chain 1 in between each of our treble crochets to get that spacing that we need, or that at least so we can be consistent with the stitch that we skipped from the first row of the treble crochets. Okay, so just like that, and you're going to continue to do this all around. And when you get back to this beginning here, your last treble crochet, of course, is going to be here. You're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch in the 4th chain from the chain that we did previously. So you're going to be doing it right here, and then you continue to do this. Okay, so this is the repeat here, and we're building this like the meshy portion of the bikini cover here. So you're going to do this until you have the length that you're looking for. I'm going to do about 34 rows total. So I have my first one here, my second one is this one that I'm starting, and then I'm going to do 32 more after I finish this one, and that is going to be the length that takes it sorry about that. So that's going to be the length of my bikini cover that will take it to just right above my ankles. Okay, so that's how long I want my bikini cover to be. If you're going to be doing anything shorter than that, then of course you stop wherever you want it to reach from your waist down. Okay, so go ahead and build up your bikini cover here then until you get the number of rows that you require for the length, and then when you have that, come back and we will look at it together. Okay, and I'll bring mine as well so I can show you guys how mine looks like. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my 34 rows for my bikini cover here. So as you can see, this is where I stopped. This is my last row here, and I just cut off the excess yarn, and I will be weaving this in. Okay, so this is pretty much how long it is. So this is where it will go around my waist, and then this is how it's gonna fall down my body all the way to the bottom. Okay, if I was to measure this, just for those of you who like to know what the measurements are or how long it is, if I measure mine all the way from the bottom to the top, it's about 34 inches long. Okay, so 34 inches long, and like I said, it goes up to my ankles. Okay, so that is pretty much the end of this here. I will of course weave this section in as well, and I will weave the tail while I finish the project off as well, and then it will be good and ready to be worn. Of course, I will show it to you with pictures when I've taken it on me, and that way you can see how it looks, because it's obviously hard to tell what is sitting on the table here. But that's pretty much it here. Thank you so much everyone for watching this tutorial. But yeah, if you're new to my channel, please go ahead and check out my channel and see what you might like there. I make different things. I post a couple of times a week, and please subscribe if you like what you see, and of course don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share the video, and of course comment if you have any questions that you would like to ask me. Okay, thank you so much again, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.